Today we're going to be making my pattern SweetSea Mermaid. Here's two examples that I made. So what you're going to need is a color for the fins, a color for the main body, the swimsuit, and the hair. Some stuffing. I use these to help the neck stay steady so that it doesn't flop around. Some safety eyes, and then I like to put these wires in the hands so that you can, and the arms so that you can kind of make it say hi or whatever. Anyway, so let's get started. Okay, we are going to start off making the fin. And to do that, we're going to get your hook ready. I like to just start crocheting and then pulling it tight after I do 2 chains. You can also do a slip knot. We're going to chain 8. And now we're going to do a half double crochet. I'm going to do 5 half double crochets and 2 slip stitches. Now 2 slip stitches. And then chain 1 and turn. And then we're going to do slip stitches in the 6 stitches. And right here we're just going to do normal slip stitch. 1, 2, and then here where the half double crochet is, we're going to go into this very front loop so that there's 2 in the back and do the slip stitch. That will give the fin its nice texture. Then chain 1 and turn. Oops. Now we're going to do a half double crochet, 4 half double crochets, two slip stitches, chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to do 5 slip stitches, doing the same thing we did before, the 2 regular ones, and then going up into this very top loop right here. And chain 1 and turn, and then 3 half double crochets, go in. There we go. And then 2 slip stitches. Now we're going to chain 5, do 3 half double crochets and 2 slip stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Oh, there we go. And then we're going to do a slip stitch in each of these stitches. And don't forget to do the very front loop like that on these ones. The very last stitch, and then you're going to chain 2 and turn. Now in this chain right here, we're going to do a half double crochet and then go down, doing 4 half double crochets total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 slip stitches. 1, 2, chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in each of these stitches. Chain 2, and turn, and then do a half double crochet in this chain. Come on. 4 more half double crochets, so there's going to be 5 total. So that's 3, 4, 5, and then 2 slip stitches. And then I like to chain 1 and cut, leaving enough to sew in the tail later. And pull it through and pull it tight. So here is our little fin. We're gonna put that aside and make the tail. Okay, here you can do a magic circle if you want, but I prefer to chain 2, and then I'm going to do 5 stitches in this first chain from the knot. And then we're going to work in continuous rounds, so I didn't put a slip stitch to join it, I just started the next round. So we're going to put 4 single crochets and then an increase. And so here's an increase. And now we're going to do all the way back to, there will be 6 single crochets, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to go 1 single crochet and then an increase. And then we're going to go around single crochets all the way back to this increase. I'm going to shove that in there because it's bothering me. Okay, here I'm at the increase, so I'm going to do a single crochet in the increase, and then 1 more, then I'm going to do another increase. And now I'm doing a single crochet in each one until I get back to the increase. That's right here. And I'm going to do another single crochet. Okay, so I went to the increase and then I did 1 more single crochet, and now I'm going to do an increase. And then this time we're going to count 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do an increase. And then we're going to continue the pattern of getting to an increase, doing 1 single crochet and then increasing again. So I'm going to do 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was in the increase. And then 1 single crochet. And now an increase. Then I'm going to go to the next increase. Right there. and then do one more and an increase. And I'm going to do this for 3 rounds. So I'm gonna put my stitch marker here. I'm just going to follow that pattern for 3 rounds. We went around 3 rounds and now we're back to where the stitch marker is. We're just going to do a single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now we're going to put a slip stitch in this front loop, chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do half double crochets in the back loop. We're going to do 4 half double crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, gotta tighten my thing, increase, and then, yeah, don't forget you need to be doing it in this back loop because this front loop, or the inside loop will be used for the mermaid's body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, and then I have room for one more and then a slip stitch. And then I do a chain, pull this long enough that you can sew around the outside, pull through and pull it tight. So I'm going to get rid of that because I don't need that anymore. And we're going to sew this around. Go in. And then I like to, it's not completely invisible, but I like to push the needle in between the loops on the top of the stitch that's folded down. And then I'll go in through the next one in between the two. And then I'll skip one because I don't feel like it needs to be super tight. And then go through the next one all the way around. So it's not completely invisible because if you turn it this way you can see it. From the top it is pretty close to invisible. And this will just keep this little fin. I'm not sure what this part of the fin would be called. I think one more stitch. Oops. Huh. Sorry. There we go. And then, whoops, I almost lost that. I'm going to pull this down here. Actually, yeah, I am. I'm going to pull this down here. And then leave it to help tie these. So you're going to make sure that this is lined up. And we're going to sew the fin on kind of like that. So we have the fin ready. Now you're going to take your color that you're using for the body, and I actually like to switch out, so I was using a 5.5, and I think this, I'm using this for the body. And it says it's a super bulky 6, but I think it's a thinner super bulky 6 than this one. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out my hook. Probably down, let's see, this is a 5.5. So probably I'm going to go down to a 4.5. Make it nice and tight. This away. Okay, and then you're going to go to the back of your mermaid, and you're going to go into this loop, the inside loop that we left from before, and just kind of loop it around and tie it into a little knot there. And you're going to do a single crochet all the way around. And then you're just going to go around without slip stitching to make it continuous rounds. So we did 2 rounds. Now we're going to do a decrease on each side, lined up with where like the fins are. So right here I'm going to do a decrease, and right there I'm going to do a decrease. Now decrease. And then I'm going to go all the way across the front with normal single crochets. And then I'm going to do a decrease. I like to do the invisible decrease where you go in through just the front loop. You don't pull the yarn through, you go in through the next one, just the front loop. Then you pull the yarn through both of those loops and then do a regular single crochet like that. I feel like it keeps it tighter and it doesn't look as bunchy, I guess would be the word. Okay, we're going to do another round with no decreases, just single crochets all around. Okay, so when we get back to the middle, we're going to leave 2 loops on the hook, so just like a normal single crochet, but we're not going to finish it off. And we're going to grab whatever color you want for the swimsuit. This is an Adorable from Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. I think it was called Mint. I'm actually not sure about that. But we're just going to go ahead and start that here. And pull that tight. And I like to crochet it into the seam, but we are going to go back loop only. We're just going to go all the way around with single crochets on the back loop. And when we get back to this, we're just going to go through both loops again. And we're going to do we're going to work 2 decreases into it. So I'm going to go 3 and then decrease. And then I think it should be 6. 1, 2, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then decrease. And there should be 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go ahead and go all the way around. Probably, yeah, we're going to do single crochets in each one more time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead because we're going to do some decreasing here in a minute. And so I'm going to go ahead and put in this that will help hold up the head. And I'm going to stuff the tail and torso of the body around that. We're going to do 3 and then decrease all the way around until we get back to the stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it, the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, decrease. I'm going to leave these 2 loops on there like that. I'm actually going to cut this off and tie it down, or you can crochet it under, whatever you want to do. Tie that down, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Oops, back loop only. I forgot to do the back loop only. 1, 2, and then we're going to do it like the invisible one, but of course we're doing just the back loop only. So we're going to go through 2 back loops and then pull the yarn through both of those. Oh, I'm stuck on something. There we go. And then pull it like that. So there's the decrease. So I'm going to take a minute to stuff the top of this torso area. Now we're going to make it kind of tighter for the neck. So we're going to do a single crochet and then a decrease. Okay, so now we're going to we're going to do an increase in each of these stitches. Okay, now we're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch again. Go ahead and put the stitch marker in so that we can keep track of where we started. I think we're going to go ahead and just do a single crochet in each one. I'll put that there so we can keep track of where it's at. We're going to find where we want to put the little bobble stitch for the nose. So I like to line it up pretty closely with this. So I'm just going to go eyeball straight up from there, and then I'm going to put it one over from where I want the bubble stitch, because I don't want to be dealing with this where I'm doing the bubble stitch. So now we're going to do a single crochet all the way until we get to that spot. So you wrap around, go into the hole of the previous stitch and bring it through, and then you go through just the first 2 loops, and then you leave these 2 loops on there, and then you're going to wrap around, go through the same spot, pull it through, go through the first 2 loops, and now you have 3 loops on here. And we're going to do one more wrap around, go through the same hole, pull through, go through the 2 loops, and now we have 4 on here, and we're going to go through all 4, and then we're going to do a single crochet all the way around. Okay, now we're just continuing to do another round of single crochets, and then there's 2 little stitches on top of that bubble stitch, and you're just going to go into each of those. And we're going to keep doing single crochets until we get back to where we want to do the eyes. So it's going to be a few stitches before the nose. So let's get to there. Okay, we're going to go 6 stitches from the nose. We're going to do 3 together. So I went through the top loops of these 3, pull that through, and then wrap around and pull through those 2. And then we're going to do 2 together, a normal decrease. Then we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then a normal invisible decrease. And then 3 stitches together by going through those loops, pulling through the 2, wrap around, pull through that. And then we're going to do single crochets all the way around for let's come back in 2 rows. And then I'm going to pull this loop out just so I don't lose it when I am looking at this. Okay, so we have where we're going to form the cheeks and the nose and like where the little eyes are going to go. Let's see. Let me grab the eye. Looks like I'll have to go looking for the other piece of the eye. Oh, I see it. Oh yeah, I think I like that better. Okay, now I grabbed the eyes that have like the off-centered pupil, so I want to make sure that they're not both pointing in opposite directions, but they're both pointing slightly inward and down. We're going to put on the back. Good snap. And then put on the back of this. Oh, that one didn't have quite a nice little snap, but it is all the way closed. Okay, and then we're gonna do one more round of single crochets before we start decreasing. You can add some stuffing now if you want. I think I want to. So apparently my camera died last night when I was making this. So I have it back. I undid a little bit and I have it back to where the camera died. So we were just going to do another round here of single crochets all the way around. Okay, now I'm back to the back. We're going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around. I'm going to put a stitch marker here so we can keep track. Now we're going to do 7 decreases. That will take us all the way back around to here. And before it closes up all the way, I'm going to add more stuffing so that the head is the same squishiness as the body. So we're just going to do 7 invisible decreases. And then I'm just going to do a slip stitch, oops, and a chain, cut off just with enough to have some to sew in. And now we're going to close that hole. I decide for sure, I think I need a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's good. So we're just going to take the top stitch, or the top loop of each of these stitches and go straight in through that and then pull it tight as we go. And that will make a nice little closure that doesn't look weird. Okay, and then just weave this in a few times until we get to the back. And that looks great. So we're going to do some shaping on the face, and then we'll do the arms, and then we'll talk about the choices for the hair. So I'm just going to cut, let's see, I'm not sure how much I need. I love my crochet hook, but it rolls around on my desk so much. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do the shaping is we're going to come in through the bottom of the chin, directly underneath the eyes, and we're going to come to the corner and then go just about 1.5 stitches or 2 stitches over. And then this is very important to get this to come out of the exact same hole that you went into. And we're going to pull this tight to make these little cheeks. And you can tie this as tight as you want it. It will pull those eyes down and the cheeks up a little bit, but you want to be careful not to snap your yarn, especially if you're using this chenille yarn instead of like the blanket yarn. I think it's super soft, but it's a little bit weaker than the brunette blanket. Okay, and then the other side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go straight under, go up to the middle or the outside. It doesn't matter which one you do first, I don't think. And then go about 2 stitches over. Get this to come out of the exact same hole. And then pull it tight. I want it to be about the same, as close to possible, the same tightness as the other side. so that the eyes look the same. Just going to double knot that, cut this off, and then, oh, here we go. Oh, keep pulling through the wrong side. Yeah, so let's go ahead and work on the arms. I have this wire I'm going to use. There we go. Yep, perfect. Just making sure it was the right size. I just like to push this down with the pliers, so it's like not pokey. Oh, and then I pull it off. Because in here I will put some stuffing in there, but it's like there's no poking anywhere. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we will adjust them so they're the same length here in a little bit. The squeeze test. Okay, no pokies. So now we're going to grab our main body color. And okay, so you can either do a magic circle with 4 single crochets or chain 2, and then put 4 single crochets in this first chain. Okay, I said 9 rounds, but I think we actually need 12 rounds. So I'm just going to add 2 more rounds, which I'm almost done with. Yeah, that's a good size. I just lined it up to here to see what it looked like, and I think that's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this off with just enough to sew it on and to pull it through. And there is stuffing down into the hand, but not so much into the arm. Just a tiny bit in the arm. And it will go on just like that. When we sew it on, we're going to make a little shoulder right here with this. So yeah, okay. We're going to do the other arm just the same way. Okay. So again, I put some stuffing in the hands. Not so much in the arms. Now we're just going to sew on these arms, giving the Little Mermaid some shoulder. So okay. So we're not done yet. We need to make hair. I'm going to be making one style of hair for her. I will try to post the videos of how I did the other 2 styles of hair. So look for those. To make the hair, we're going to start with either a magic circle of 8 or a chain 2 and then 8 in the first chain. So it'll be 1, working continuous round, so no slip stitch, just go into the next stitch. And we're going to do 8 increases, so I'll give us 16 stitches. Now we're going to do an increase and then a single crochet all the way around to give us 24 stitches total. So increase, single crochet, in. Okay, now we're going to do, I'm just putting this here instead of a stitch marker for right now. We're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. Okay, perfect. So now I'm just going to go single crochet all the way around until it looks kind of like a swim cap when I put it on her. So I've done 2 rounds so far, and that's where it's at. So it's not quite ready yet. I did 4.5 because it looked like it was about the right thing, and now I'm going to change up the thing to give it a little bit of hair shape. Oh, why is that? There it is. Okay, so we are going to do a slip stitch, a half double crochet, increase, so 2 half double crochets, and then a slip stitch. Just, it's going to make this little bump. So another slip stitch, half double crochet, increase, slip stitch, I'm going to go ahead and do 3 slip stitches there because there's not enough room. And then we're going to tie this off, but I'm going to leave it long enough to sew all the way around the outside. So I'm going to cut it off like right here and pull it through. And we're going to put it on her. Make sure it's right where I want it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. And then we're just going to sew this on. Put it here to tie later. So we have this so far, and now we're going to make the little piggy tails or ponytails, whatever you want to call them. For the little pigtails, we're going to make some little curls like this. I'm playing a little bit of yarn chicken, but I thought I had another skein of this, but I don't. So to make the little curls, we're going to start your yarn on your hook and then chain 26. Okay, and then we're going to put 2 single crochets in each chain. Okay, and then in this very last chain, we're just going to actually put a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 25. And then just the same thing, increase in each of those. So I'm so happy I decided to do 3 curls on each side because this is all the yarn I have left of this color. So I am going to leave a little bit to go ahead and sew it on. So just thread this. I can thread it. That curl kind of went a little crazy. Then I think I want it to be kind of right in the middle, front to back, and then like maybe 2.5 to 3 rows down. I'm just going to get it on pretty securely. And then I'm going to bring it down here. And this other end, I'm going to go ahead and bring to that same spot. If I can get it. There we go. That's very cute. And I'm just going to do this other one to match up to that. Okay. Oh. All we have left are the little flowers that we're going to put in the hair. So we're going to start off by chaining 5. So I already did 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to do a slip stitch in that first chain. We're chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch in that first chain again. Move that tail out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch in that first chain. Even if it's getting tight, just kind of make your way in. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to that first chain, and one more. So we have 5 little green petals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to slip stitch and chain 1 and tie it off. I'm leaving just a little bit to sew it in. That was weird. Okay, so here's one of the little flowers. It's just going to look like that. And we'll make another one. Oh, it's going to look so cute. There we go. She's so cute. All this shedding from... And there we have it. Here's all 3 of them.